All right. So today I want to talk about the presentation, the structure of a presentation. I've noticed that, when I first started doing my own presentations, I realized that sometimes the people would get out of the meeting and still not understand what the business is about. Or sometimes we focus on one area and we forget another area that probably the prospects are interested in learning about. So as we start the year, I just thought to myself, maybe let me share how I feel a presentation should be structured, or the things that you need to include in your presentation for your prospects, or you can apply this at work or in business as well, to make sure that you get your message across effectively. So you do not want to find yourself in a situation where you've spent an hour doing a presentation, and then when you call to follow up, you realize that, your prospect didn't get all the information they wanted. Then you are spending another 30, 40 minutes on the call with them, trying to explain things that you should have explained in the presentation. So that's why I decided, you know what, maybe let me share this. And then at the end, we can probably, have some additions, subtractions, thoughts, and contributions from you, the leaders that are in the meeting. So the first thing is, be the host. If you are going to organize a presentation, even if you decide that you are not going to be the speaker. So for example, you joined the business probably in December, you're not yet comfortable with doing the presentation on your own, but you do have some people that you have invited, and you've asked maybe your upline or one of the leaders in your team or a colleague in your team to help you with the presentation. The fact that you are the one who has organized this thing, you are the one who has brought the people that you know, your prospects, into the room, you have to be the host. And by being the host, I don't mean go purchase the Zoom and, create your own meeting, which is probably a good idea for you to be able to host your own meetings. But what I mean is, be the first speaker, be the one to introduce yourself to your guests, to welcome them to the meeting. And then if you are not going to be the person who is presenting, you can then introduce the speakers. So for example, I've organized a meeting. It means I will log in and say, good morning, how are you? Thank you for joining the meeting. Today we are going to be talking about how you can build an extra income. And I have 3 speakers today that are going to do the presentation for us. This one will talk about this, la 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 la. Thank you. And then you call your first speaker. Or you can take an example of what I do with the 5 a.m. sessions. Most of the time, I'm always the one who starts the meeting, introduces the speaker, welcomes the people that have attended. That is very important because it gives your prospects that confidence to say, you know what, you are running a professional business, you know what you are doing. And even though you are not the one doing the full presentation, the fact that they have heard from you and you have welcomed them will also motivate them to, stay and listen to whatever it is that you have to offer. This is, of course, if you are the one who has planned the meeting and the prospects are yours. Sometimes if it's a group meeting, then you are not able to be the only person who is in charge. But what I've noticed, sometimes you get into a meeting and There's no welcome, there's no introduction. People just get into the business. So you always have to have that introduction. The next thing that you speak about is the company. Okay, this is in the order that I feel is best, but some people can switch it around. Maybe they start with testimonies or whatever you feel motivates your group, but you speak about the company. Speaking about the company, you're providing details about the company that you are working with. What this does is it gives confidence to the person who is listening to your presentation that this is a solid company, because a lot of people have been ripped off by people on the internet, by companies that come today and they disappear tomorrow. So it's very important to make sure that in your presentation you do share the company history. Share which company is this. There are some presentations you attend and leave without even knowing that they were talking about Forever. So mention that you are working or you are partnered with a company called Forever Living. Mention that it has been 45 years in the business. Mention that it is in over 160 countries. Mention that it is a willable business, because that, if I am someone who has money and I'm looking to invest into something or to start something, those are the questions that I want answered. Even if you go to, let's say you are starting a traditional business and you're looking for funding, you're doing a business plan, they want to know, what company is this? What do you do? How long have you been doing it? They want to see your financials so that they can determine if you are solvent. So even when we are presenting our business, let's also mention those things, to give confidence to the other person who needs to make a decision, to say, you know what, I may have enough income, but at the job that I'm working, if I leave today, that is the end. But this thing is something that I can leave for future generations. It's a willable business, which means I can seed it to those who are coming after me. That gives them that confidence. So if in your presentation you are keeping the company history, then what happens at the end is, yes, you're going to talk about all the nice incentives and the marketing plan and the money and all of that. But the person will leave the presentation thinking, oh, okay, that was nice. There's a lot of money, but can I really trust these people? And probably that's when they start ignoring you, or they don't respond to you, or they tell you no. It's because they are starting to think, this is a pyramid scheme. Where is this company? Where are their offices? How come probably someone has never heard of them and all of that? So always make sure that you provide the company history, which is like the background, and the vision of the company as well. Why should the person choose to partner with your company? Because people get presentations all the time about different types of companies with different types of compensation plans, but why yours? That's what you need to mention in your business presentation. The third thing is the products, because I think most people are coming to realize that for a business to be a legit business, there needs to be a product or a service that is being offered by the business. Because most pyramid schemes, if you notice, there is no product, there is no, in fact, all pyramid schemes, there is no product, there is no service. It's just join with this money and your money will grow by 100%. So if you don't mention the products, what you are also doing is you give the other person doubt to say, this is a pyramid scheme. They're talking about all this money. Where is it coming from? So in your presentation, you need to mention that, we are in the health and wellness sector. So the first thing is there a need for your product? That's another thing that someone is going to look at, because you might be a company, yes, and you might have products, yes, but maybe there is no market for them. So you have to show people that there is a need, and that your product meets the need. So you mentioned COVID, you mentioned the health and wellness, you mentioned how people are getting sick with a lot of these diseases, your hypertension, heart disease, people are struggling with their weight. You show them that, you know what, where you are, there is actually a need. And then they are able to relate to the product, because then they start thinking, oh, I know my sister, she's struggling with high blood pressure. Also, these products can help. So you show them that, yes, we do have a product. There is a need for the product on the market, and our products do meet the need of in the market. You also mentioned the certifications that the products have, because this is health and wellness. A lot of people are quite reserved when it comes to recommending products for people's health. So they need to have that confidence to know that, you know what, these products are actually certified with the relevant people. So when I'm recommending this, I'm not going to put myself in a position where someone is getting worse and then I'm liable for that. So do mention all of that about the product. Also, the pricing and the profit that you can talk about on the marketing plan, but do mention the product, the need that it solves, so that the people are able to understand as well what is it that you sell. Then you go to your compensation plan. Your compensation plan is your marketing plan. This is where you talk about the levels in your company. So you have the supervisor, assistant supervisor, all of that. But when very important to note is, when you are talking about your compensation plan, you don't want to go into too much detail that confuses the prospects. So speak only the basics, the information that they need to know. What levels are they? When I start, where am I? What areas of income does your business or your company offer? So probably you mentioned that there is income from retail, there is income from you have commission, you have boost bonuses, and you have incentives, but you don't have to go into too much detail. Okay, you explain to them the levels, how to attain the levels, the money that they can expect, the types of income that they are going to earn, the incentives. You also mentioned probably that, you know, in your company or in Forever, the income is uncapped. What that does is it shows them that, you know, there is no ceiling. They have the potential to grow their income to any point that they wish to. So that is like your compensation plan. So don't skip through or skim through it. That is what most people are interested in knowing. If I'm going to put my 6.5, where is the money going to come from? Where am I starting? How do I grow this income? And what type of incentives can I expect from your company? So that is the compensation plan. Then very important to speak about the support, because you are talking about something that requires people to go out there, market products, sell, recruit, all of these. And most people, the moment you start mentioning product, the moment you start mentioning Forever, what goes into their mind? I've never sold anything before. I don't know how to talk to people. How am I going to do these present? They have a lot of questions that come to their mind. So if you do mention to say, you know what, we've shared all this information with you. We understand that probably this is not your main industry focus, but we do offer support. You will have support from the person that introduced you. You will have support from the company in terms of business owner trainings. You have a back office where you can do your orders, track your orders, you know, track your team, run your reports. You do get access to an online store. I've found a lot of people sign up or become very interested when you mention the online store, especially if you're talking to people that are already in business or that are already working. because they do not have the time to be moving around and delivering and all of this. But if you show them that there is an option for you to get a link that you just share with your customers, they order online, they have their products delivered, they are more willing to say, you know what, I can do it because everyone I know has a phone, they are able to do their orders. So it's a good thing to mention. You mentioned that, you know what, the marketing material is there, the catalogs, the pricing is there. All you have to do is just show up for your business. It gives the person confidence to say, oh, okay, this is not like a traditional business where if I start, I have to do my own catalogs, my own pricing, all of this is done for me. So do mention all of that in terms of training, support, the online store, the marketing material. Mention your team as well. So your team offering support to say, you know what, it's not just going to be this person that introduced you. We have a team of people that are ready and willing to support you. Mention the recognitions because a lot of people like to be recognized. You know, if you go to companies, they do the employee of the month and all of that. That makes people feel good. So also do mention we have success days every 3 months, you know, where we meet up and we are recognizing people. You are going to be rewarded for your efforts. That motivates someone to, you know, be interested in your company. Then timing and testimonials. Okay, so this is where you now maybe have a few people in the team in the meeting and give them an opportunity to share their stories. Okay, they can either be in the meeting, you unmute them, they speak, or it can be just slides and whoever is presenting is then taking the people through the testimonies. But very important, do not make them too many because you want to try and keep your presentation as short as possible. We know that most people cannot concentrate for an hour straight just listening to another person speaking. So do provide your testimonies, have people sharing their stories, but try not to make the presentation too long, or try not to focus too much on the testimonies and forget about, you know, sharing the compensation plan and the business and the company itself. So that is testimonials. Then lastly, you have to open up the platform for questions from the guests. I know normally we tell our guests to, you know, go back to the person who's invited you and they will answer all the questions that you have. If you do have time after your presentation, just allow 5 to 10 minutes of questions. Probably someone will ask a question that another person is afraid to ask, and they will actually get a response because not everyone is going to come to you after the presentation with their questions. But if you allow them the platform to interact with you during the presentation, you get more in terms of results. So try and not make, because I know after you've made your presentation 1.5 hours, you feel like, yo, we can't do another 15 minutes of questions. So make sure that you try and keep your presentation as short as possible, only address the necessary things, and then provide maybe 5 minutes of questions at the end of your presentation. And then the same way you did the introduction and you introduced the speakers, just do a quick summary, highlight of what is important, less than a minute, you know, just highlight what is important. Then you thank your speakers, you thank your guests for attending, and then you close your meeting. I think that is my my last slide. Yes. So those are the things that I feel for a presentation to be effective, you should be able to have in your presentation. So I'm going to unmute the participants and allow comments for those who want to Apologies. I think I'm getting flu. I'm going to allow people to unmute, those who want to make a contribution, make a deduction, an addition. You are welcome. The platform is yours, my leaders. Anyone with a comment?